This is just AMZN for Friday, June 29th, 2018, and we're taking a look at the pre-market from this morning that actually gapped up. Bullish retest gap, gapped up above our 17-1450 line, and it's been a while since we've been above that. We've kind of been bouncing between, not necessarily exactly between these, but in this area for a while. Now we're actually above it. But as a retest gap, I would expect it to pull back a little bit before it goes higher, if it goes higher. But I'm not so sure it's going to go higher just because there's been a lot of bearish pressure lately. A lot of people selling. We were at an all-time high. Just seems to be some more bearishness coming into the market. So even though this is gapping up, it may be a fade, which we would trade in the opposite direction of the gap. So let's get into the day and see what happens. A very first candle, indecisive candle, just about the range on the pre-market. So this is a really good candle to have at this price. If it breaks below here, it could fade. If it breaks above here, it could rally. But it's still a bullish candle, so you do want it to pull back and kind of retest, make some smaller candles. This is almost a $10 candle at the open and very indecisive on high volume. Very next candle is slightly higher. We didn't get a close above the 5 minute, but this, the bodies are really similar. So again, just a very indecisive candle, this time completely above our support line. And then we still have yet another bullish candle, inside candle. This isn't really retesting. It kind of did with the wick, but it's kind of drifting up a little bit. And then it actually breaks out in this candle. It actually got above pre-market high. And if you look at this as being somewhat of the S-curve, so it ran up from this, pulled back a little bit, then that would have been the place to buy, or that would have been the place to buy for a continued move. But it moves so far, so quickly, and just yesterday, that we really do need some more of a rest, more of a pullback. We do have a squeeze that is now fired bullish. Last time we had one that fired bullish was just yesterday in this area, and that was after quite a bit of consolidation, this kind of triangle here that formed over a couple hours. And you don't really see that here. I mean, you do kind of with the pre-market, but not the volume that you really need to see. So there's a nice pullback, or not really a pullback, just a nice bearish candle to have. The high here is 1723.43. I'm sorry, 1723.41, and the high on the bearish candle is 1723.39. So it's 2 cents apart at a location that we do need to see a bit more of a pullback. That's almost a tweezer. I mean, it's a tweezer-ish top. The highs are almost the same. 2 cents apart on a stock that's over $1,700. That's practically, in all practical purposes, that's a tweezer top. So from here, we could actually buy puts or go bearish right below here and stop up above. Maybe 17. Let's see, get below that wick at 1719. So 1719 by 1724. So a $5 risk. You've almost hit 1 hour back down here, and then I really would want to see a pullback to 1700. It's a nice round number, sort of resistance here, definitely resistance here. That's where I would look for it to go, but probably chop around a little bit around this level, act like it's going to hold. So I'm more bearish because I want it to fade, and I want to see that that we retest more of what we did yesterday. And so that's the setup, and it would have, if you waited for a close, you wouldn't be in, but if you just waited for a move there, you'd be in on this candle. So we'll take a look at the options a little bit and see if that would have worked or not. So some chopping around right on that level. Great place to have a line that it's acting like that. So now right here we got a bit of a consolidation, a bit of a triangle, a bit of an upper or a lower, a bit of a trend line below it. And this could really be some indecisive candles, just really small. So we have this really big one here, high wave, This is a really small indecisive candle on very small volume, just kind of people waiting to see, all right, which way is it going to go? So now we've been above this line for 20 minutes. Now we're actually crossing below it. And this could be something where you want to see it move below, which, I mean, you could be in on that candle bearish here by a stop up here, get it above these candles, these wicks, to be a little more conservative, or way up here to be ultra conservative. But I don't think you have to go that far. I think probably here. So bearish move here by here, and that's practically 1714 by 1719. So $5 range on that as well. Here we go. So now we've actually broken. We actually broke. Do we get the below today? 1710 23. This was 1710 51. So slightly below. And that bullish squeeze fizzled. Now we had a bearish squeeze that just fizzled, and now we had another one as it consolidated, and now yet another squeeze forming here. And so it looks like this is going to continue. Yeah, this is continuing. There's the squeeze fired. Of course, it's going to retest a little bit. Here we go. So here's a really small candle. You've got a little bit of retesting. You had the squeeze, and it lost a little bit of momentum here during that flag, but this looks like I can't remember if it's a rising 3 or falling 3. I think this is rising 3 because it rises, and then you got bookends to say, nope, we are going to go down lower. And this is a key level for it to bounce here and give you that flag. This is the highs of yesterday that we were contending in this range yesterday. So that's a retest, filling the gap. And from here, obviously it could go bullish, but we only have this line up here as the next target. Or if we stay in the position we're in and let it roll down a little more, just tighten your stop up to 1711 or so, lock in a little bit of gain. And with that, it actually does break down, comes all right down into 1700. I don't have the line there, but just a nice round number. And 2 days ago, it was off the chart. So we'll consider this a hit of our target. So we'll have to look. All right, if we had exited at 11:30, if we'd gotten in at 10:25 and gotten out at 11:30, what could you have done on? Let's go with the 1700 point and see what that ends up doing from this range. So that's what we'll take a look at. And then this actually, wow, it actually threw a lower wick here. That's a great hammer, great buying candle at a great location. You have this resistance, you got this resistance, all of that right in here, 1695 range, and that's where you just came down to. So this looks like a Morningstar reversal. That's like no question, that's going to bounce. So you're out of your bearish position. Here it goes. It's starting to bounce, rallies up, some indecisive candles. There's a lower wick. That means people are buying, but we've had 30 minutes of buying and hardly moved up. I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, 35 minutes of bearish candles, and we broke through a support and came way down. I'm not really seeing that here, and we're right into the exponential. We're right back up into this level being resistance, this being resistance. So this looks like it could continue to roll down from right here, and it doesn't. All right, it broke out. That's good. It's good that it went bullish. So this candle's working, saying, "Yep, we're going to go higher." That's the sentiment of that candle. So a bit of a consolidation here, triangle, and now it's breaking out again. And this reminds me of, let's see, was it last Friday? I don't know if it was last Friday or the Friday before, but there was like this head and shoulder. Sorry for that, excuse me. There was this kind of head and shoulder here, shoulder, head, shoulder, and it looked like it was going bullish, and then it just fell out of the sky. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. That we had a decent sell-off. We retraced part of it, and we'll retrace up into this level, the lows, that low, that high. We have some different options to rally to. It looks like we're going to go up a little bit. Yep, Oh, that's a nice evening star reversal here. You get the wick, and then you're pretty even with these levels. So 1707.65, 1707.45. So yeah, you're slightly below it. This could easily be an evening star reversal, and we could see some more selling off from this level. This is a retest from below of the pre-market and that opening candle. So pre-market was up here, opening candle was there, more support was here. We retested that. We're below it, and we're fading it. So this is a great place to fade. Yep, it's rolling down. So even if you missed that, you could have waited for this to go sideways and gotten in for a continued move. So that's the day there. But you know, there was a couple key sell-offs there and there that really would have worked. And so let's go back and look at if you've gotten into put the 700 put at 1025 and gotten out on that candle. No, it was 1130. It was that candle because of the level it came into here. So yeah, that was at 1025. Yep. So let's jump over to the puts. Oh, like, why is this not loading? I forgot to get prep this ready. Prep and get this ready before I started. Here we go. So had you bought at 1025, could have been buying for 50 bucks. And then that would have rallied quickly here, pulled back, rallied into 1130 here. So it could have gone from like 50 cents up to 350, maybe 450, maybe 550, or maybe 5. No, 550 is in the range. Probably more like 5. So from 50 cents to 5, that's $9. Or that's, sorry. If you do absolute zero and you risk 100 bucks, so that's 2 contracts. Buying both at 50, and it goes up to 5, that's 1,000, minus the entry price, which was 100. You're left with 900 as your gain, and that's $9. That's how I got there so quick. I just kind of blurred that. But anyway, that would have been a phenomenal trade like that. And then as we're rallying in here, let's go back and look at this call to see what this is going to do. Oops. So on that candle, that's already, you know, could have bought above, which would have been like 450 by maybe 350. Low is 260. So maybe we have to go a little further away from the money. But after seeing these candles, I mean, somebody could have bought here for, you know, 350 and put a stop down here at 250, and that could have totally worked. It could have been a re-entry here, could have, you know, so that would have moved. You know, so what is it, 350, buying from 350, getting out at, let's say, 1050. So that's $7. That's $7. But you gotta have a stop in place on this one in case it does actually go over. So a few different places to be buying or selling with some key candles. You know, we had some wicks here and started to roll down, and then we had some buying candle here, but that buying candle and this buying candle being a little stronger, and then some patterns here saying this could totally roll over. So yeah, pretty phenomenal day how, you know, this pullback. So this is the bigger retest of a level, and then it started to rally, and then it just rolled over again. So we'll see what happens next week. Next week will be a little bit of an off week just because there's a holiday in the middle of it, so it kind of throws things off. Monday, Tuesday. I think Tuesday closes early, so you know, we'll just have to see what we actually do on Amazon, and we'll figure out some way that we can be trading it each video, or at least how we would have traded it. So Monday, you know, if you zoom out a little bit, this is a bigger consolidation here by, you know, some line back here. You know, this is a bigger triangle forming, and when you look at what it's done on the daily, So this gap up and sell off, it still looks like something like this. We gapped up or we bought and then we sold. And it just looks like we're doing something a little different. So just be really interesting to see if we play out by something out here, we have a big gap down day, or if we're going to play out something like this, we're going to have like a few more days of sideways, which is where my gut's kind of leading because of the holiday. So if that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's closed, Thursday, Friday, you've got only a handful of candles to say, okay, we're going to go do this now, at least on the daily. Maybe there'll be some that have that on the 5 minute or the hour or something. So, but anyway, hope this was helpful. Taking a look at some of the moves. This is definitely a bullish retest. It retested, but we actually just closed the gap from this candle down, and then this looks like a double bottom, and it's actually rallying up to the neckline, and pulled back and could actually continue higher. So we'll just play one candle at a time, one day at a time. This is just AMZN. Thanks.